Hey everyone, this is Ellie from Bake It, and today we're going to be making chocolate chip banana bread. Banana bread became more popular during the Great Depression because households were unwilling to throw food away, and rotten bananas were one of them. So baking powder and baking soda at this time were also becoming more mass produced. So this was a great option for households to make. First, we're going to start off by preheating your oven to 350 degrees. Here I have all my ingredients laid out. It's called mise en place because everything is in its place. So I have my first ingredients going down the line. So I'm going to start off with the bananas, and then I'm going to have my sugar and wet ingredients, my dry ingredients, and then my inclusions will be last. So let's get started. So you're going to need a mixing bowl, a whisk or a sifter, a spatula or a mixing spoon, and a fork, or you can also use a blender or a mixer with a paddle attachment to blend your bananas. So first we're going to peel the bananas, and if your bananas aren't brown yet, you can always put them in the oven at 400 for about 5 minutes until they turn this dark brown color, or you can leave them in a bag with apples and onions. It's always important to have a side towel with you as well, so that way you don't have to keep running back and forth from the sink if your hands get dirty. So here I'm just mashing it with a fork until it almost turns into like a puree. So here is what my mixture is starting to look like with just the bananas. Now we're gonna add in our wet ingredients. So this is gonna include our sugar, egg, oil, and lemon juice. And I'm going to use a whisk to blend all these ingredients in evenly. So here's what our mixture should be looking like right now. Now we're going to add in our dry ingredients. It's important to either sift your dry ingredients or to use a whisk to make sure you don't have any clumps. What I like to do is I like to add in my dry ingredients in 2 to 3 additions, so that way it doesn't clump in the batter and you don't get dry spots when it's done baking. So our dry ingredients are going to include flour, spices, and salt, and baking soda, and powder. I'm going to add in all of my spice, and I'm going to add in the flour in 2 additions since it's a small batch. And I'm going to whisk that in. But I'm not going to whisk it in until it's about 80% incorporated, because you want to make sure that you don't overmix this, because you can create little holes in your banana bread, which is called tunneling. And that comes from a result of overmixing. So your batter should sort of look like this. It's not fully mixed in, but it has most of the dry in there. So that way when I add in my next addition, it's not overwhelmed. So now I'm going to add in the rest of my flour, and I'm going to mix this until it's just incorporated. And I want to show you 2 ways that it looks, one when it's done and one when it's not fully mixed. And make sure that you get off all excess batter on the whisk. So here's what the batter looks like when it's not fully mixed. It's not homogeneous, so it needs to be 100% homogeneous, and you can't have any flour spots in there. You can either do this by folding in the rest of your flour or by continuing to whisk. If you continue to whisk, just be careful because it'll come together very quickly. And here's what your batter should be looking like. Lastly, we're going to add in your inclusions. We've provided chocolate chips, but feel free to add whatever you like. Walnuts, almonds, or you can even just leave out the inclusions altogether. We're going to add in the inclusions, and we're going to carefully fold them in just until it's incorporated, because this is where you can easily overmix. Lastly, with a little bit of pan spray and the loaf pan that we've provided, you're going to spray this just very lightly, and you're going to carefully transfer your batter into the pan. Make sure that you get it evenly distributed so that way it can bake at the same time. And you can spread it out with a spatula as well to make sure it gets in all of the corners and it's all the same height. And then you're ready to go in the oven. Or if you'd like to, you can even sprinkle on some oats or any other toppings that you'd like. All right, welcome back. So your banana bread should be already baked at this time. This took about 25 to 30 minutes. And when you're checking it, what you can do is you can use a toothpick and see if it comes out clean. Now, if it's not gonna come out super clean, but as long as it's not gooey, that means it's done. And another way to check if it's finished is by touching the top and seeing if it bounces back. And if your finger goes in all the way through, it's not done baking. But if it can slowly bounce back, that means it's ready to be pulled out from the oven. Thank you for supporting Bake It. Bake It is a DIY baking box that helps high school culinary students learn cooking skills from home. Every box you purchase lets a high school student get a box at only a fraction of the cost. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Bake It BPA and make sure to like and subscribe for more Bake It videos. Thanks for watching.